What do you got for me? You were going to show me something? No. Oh, thought you were showing me something. Oh.
Wait for Mr. Bishop to come down. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. But before I begin, I would like to put Beverly's name in among those that we could pray for. Beverly's been having issues since before the last meeting. She's been in the hospital a few times, and we wish her.
Can't hear you, John.
Beverly, I'm sorry about that. You got this better?
Yeah.
I do want to add, Beverly, please, in our prayers, you know, Beverly, our secretary, she's been in and out of the hospital, and she's had some serious issues since prior to the last meeting, and it's been ongoing, and I really would like to add her into our prayers. She's been here for years, dedicating herself to our well-being, so please add her in. Thank you. And here's the prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you that you are the source of all true joy in life. Help us to find our joy in you. May your voice sound clearly above all others as we leave this place. May your peace be in our hearts, your grace be in our words, and your love be in our hands, and your joy to be in our souls. May your love God, I'm so sorry. In our hands, and your joy be in our souls. May your love surround us, and your spirit guide us. Your voice cheer us, your peace calm us, and your shield protect us. Your wisdom arm us wherever you may lead me. Amen.
Amen.
And a word, please, a moment of silence for all those in service to our country, foreign and above, foreign and here, and all the first responders. Just a moment of silence for them, please. Thank you. Roll call. Mario. Here. Joe. Here. Barbara.
Here.
Terry. Mary.
Here.
And myself here. Beverly is not present. I'd like to ask for a motion to forego the meetings of the last minute. Motion, please.
Second.
Second, thank you. All right, we're going to not read the minutes. We are going to go with director's reports.
Can't hear you.
How's this, better? Okay. Before we go to the director's reports, I want to make two announcements. That Mary Ann and Harold are not the chairpersons of the committee, the voting committee. They are not the chairpersons. They've been approached by some people in that respect, and I just want to make it clear they're not. But I will tell you this, that Ann Broccoli has volunteered to do it, and I'd like to thank her for putting herself up as head of the election committee. Ann Broccoli. Thank you, Ann. Thank you, Ann. Chop. Where the Midwest?
Who are those people?
They live here.
Last name.
Ann Broccoli, I just told you.
No, the other one.
Mary Ann Jacobs and Harold.
Thank you.
Everybody see me now?
Yep.
There we go. All right. Good enough.
Where's Mary?
Now, I hope that worked. But let me just continue where we're going, Charles. Thank you. All right. So that announcement is being made. Let's go to the director's reports. We'll start out with Mario.
Good afternoon, people. I
Mario.
hope you can hear me. I'm not going to use the microphone. My voice is loud. You can hear me now?
Yes.
All right, as far as the grass is concerned, we're reaching the end of the line. I hope next year is a better year for this grass wrestling business. I did the best I could. I may not do this next year, but the next year should be better than this year happening now. I hope anyway. The basic problem was labor. He didn't know the area. A lot of damage was done, and it's being corrected a little at a time. I still have some work ahead of me to take care of the damage that was done to some houses and some of the grass that was ripped apart. So eventually, before the year is done, I will take care of that. I hope. Next year will be another story. I won't be at this place again next year. I'll be doing something else if I get reelected. Thank you.
Joe.
As far as modification requests, we processed 24 requests for modifications in the month of October.
Question. How many more cuts are we getting?
Excuse me, it's out of order. At the time, you could bring it up, please, during new.
Well, he just got finished saying that he's in
But
charge
it's
of
not
the lawn
according,
cutting and all.
sir.
So,
sir.
you know, we're on
And
this
it's a
subject,
great
you might as
point,
well
but there's a
continue on
time
the
that
subject.
will come during the meeting for you to ask that question, but it's not in order, please.
Well, can he answer it now?
No.
All right.
I mean, respectfully. No. All right. Barbara.
Good afternoon, everyone. I have a couple of things. The first one is this Sunday, we're having New Jersey Tenors here, in case you haven't heard. The tickets are $20, and there will be tickets available at the door if at the last minute you decide you'd like to come and see them. It's just our way of celebrating 50 years of Holiday City, Berkeley. 50 years ago, Hovnanians started building this community. Actually, it was in the early 70s, so we kind of qualified for 50-year anniversary. We're going to be doing a little celebrating, and I hope you can enjoy this show. And now for my treasurer's report. We have a budget a proposed budget for 2022. This budget was prepared by our accountant. We have some good news, I hope. The quarterly assessment per unit is not going up. In fact, it's going down. This is unheard of in any community. However, because of some financial things and some reductions in expenses for 2022, we were told by the accountant that if we chose to rescind the $60 a year that we charged last year, that we could successfully do that and it wouldn't adversely hurt the bottom line. So we have to vote on it as directors, but that's what we were told that we could do. So technically, starting January, your assessment is going back to $150 a quarter. That's dependent on the vote that we take today. I was a little concerned that we wouldn't have a quorum here today, but we made it just before I left the table. We have 102 people in this room. So we are able to vote on certain things. John, I don't know if you would mind if we took that vote now, since we're on the subject?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I heard a couple of yeses, so yes, let's take a vote. All right. As for the proposal to bring back the budget where it's $600 a year, the directors will now vote on whether to accept or reject it. Barbara, your vote.
Absolutely accept.
Mary, your vote.
Decline.
Terry, your vote.
Decline.
Mario. Please, Mario, your vote.
Okay, yes.
That's a yes. That's, so far, that's 2 yeas, 2 nays. Joe?
I vote to accept the advice of the accountants and reduce the fees.
That's 3 yeas. We're looking for 4 yeas. No suspense. Beverly voted yay. That's a majority. And just so everybody wants to know, I voted yes. So the maintenance will go back. I want to make one small announcement regarding that. And I know somebody might think this is a political issue, or we did this for votes. We could have done this last October because this was in the works. This came and was finalized by our accountant, and he advised us so. And once that was advised to us, I then contacted the attorney, and he went along with it. And thankfully, because of those 2 people, they presented us the ability to say that to you guys. And that's where that came from. That's where we had to do it this time. I wish we would have done it in October, we might have got more votes. What can I tell you? All right, let's go on. As far as myself, I just want to announce that we did buy the risers for the Melodiers. I think it came out to about $4,200. Bids were put out by Harold, and we approved it. We are also today going to vote on contract for the new maintenance supervisor, who will be Shannon. He's been with us for years, and since Greg Loretta has left, Shannon has stepped up in his position, and also he's taken all the courses required since Greg left to be the pool. He has a license now to run and supervise any pool, swimming pool issues, as Greg Loretta did. Hence, we never needed a pool company because we had someone on site who was licensed, and now that person will be Shannon. So we are also going to vote right now on to give him a contract. And I'm going to ask for the vote right now, and I'm going to start with Barbara.
Yes.
How much is the contract? How much?
For his salary, I'm going to get to the pages, all right? Give me a moment.
We don't discuss
That's true. Yeah. All right, if I may, individual employee salaries cannot be discussed in public. I'm sorry, and that's in the bylaws. They can't, it's in the bylaws. We cannot discuss individual salaries. If you want me to violate, I'm not gonna do it. But I can't do that. He's got his right to privacy, but it's part and parcel of all the salaries that are gonna be listed in the budget. Now, I will tell you this, I'm not gonna give you a direct, but let's say it's half of what it was for the prior manager. All right, so I mean, it's not what he got. And again, we would be in violation if we told you individual salaries. That's something, even the new board, I want you to be aware that there are certain things, you are signing an agreement when you get on the board that you cannot divulge. And that's the way it is, and you're sworn to that by taking an affidavit. So on that, again, we're gonna vote on his contract. But I will tell you this again, it's less money than we paid the prior manager. I'm gonna ask you to vote again. Barbara?
Yes.
Mary?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Mario?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
And for Beverly, she cast a vote of yes, and myself, it's a vote of yes, so it passed unanimously. Shannon is the new head of maintenance. In addition, I want to tell you that we had a court case pending, and I'd like everyone to be pretty well aware of this because a great deal of upset was caused because we closed that back parking lot. And I'm going to just reaffirm to everybody what the issue was. We have received a report of a stolen boat, and the charges were, I think we were being sued for over $15,000 for a boat that was worth $700. Not only that, when we checked into the police report, we found that boat owners gave erroneous police reports compared to the tapes that were here. In any event, that caused us to get into a very involved court case. To wit, Ocean County judges are not ones to make a decision. They're ones to kind of vote for you guys settlement. So now we're paying our attorney to help settle this case. We don't want to settle because we know it's bogus, but we were advised to do so by the judge. So what happens then, your legal expenses increase because you're going back and forth and trying this and that. Well, I don't say this as a happy note, and I don't wish anybody anything negative, but both plaintiffs died. So the case is over. But for us to try to get any remuneration for the legal expenses, we will not be able to recoup. And I'm sorry that that what happened to those people, but it did cost us quite a bit of money. And again, initially, that was the reason for the closing of that parking lot, because they advised us that they had the insurance, which was mandated to get a spot in that lot. Since that time, we found that his insurance elapsed, or he had just presented a phony piece of paper at the time. Whatever the case may be, that was the whole, I guess, pitch, was to make us think that he had the suspected boat, he was covered, he wasn't, and it ended up costing us almost $9,000 in legal fees. And the reason, and I'm going to backtrack on this, the only reason that we then decided on closing that yard was because we've had so many RVs that were there, and in the event that one of those was taken and we had to settle, we would have depleted whatever money we had. And in addition, because of what happened to Clubhouse 2, our insurance has skyrocketed. And that's the reason we are not able, not that we're not able, but it would be fiscally difficult for us to reopen that lot for everyone because of our insurance premiums. And that's something I don't think everybody understood. But that's the reason that happened. Now today, if we want to reopen that lot, and I know there are people that wish we could to bring it back, for money, but we can't. Our insurance rates are sky high. Right now, the First Aid Squad has a $3 million policy. For us to get that kind of money, we probably have to charge you guys $150 to $200 a spot. That being said, I hope it was cleared a little better for everyone, because I know there were quite a few people that were upset. That's about all I have. We're going to go on. It's because it's not over the amount, but Alpine, who has been working on, they're the HVAC people, they've been working on this building and the other buildings. So we did give them a contract for $7,000 to complete all their work, and also they are honored to warranty and guarantee the work they've done here, but it's also to continue their service for us. That being said, I think I'm done.
Yeah.
Am I done? Then we'll go now to committee reports. Any committee reports? I see Sue coming up. Oh,
Do we have committees?
that's nice.
Is there a committee?
Al, come on up.
Clubs.
So, I'm sorry, before you go, one other announcement I want to make. Judy Gass, who's one of our candidates, called in last week with a very good suggestion, and that was to contact the bus company to see if they would pick up passengers who are not able to drive for our evening meetings, especially because it's going to be in the dark, etc., like that. This is a nice recommendation by her. We hence had already signed the contract, but we did send an email out to the owner of Stouts Bus. We're waiting for the response. Have you gotten a response?
No, I sent-
Not yet, but I'll make it a point to reiterate that we do contact them again, because I'd like to give her that answer, and it was a great suggestion. And that being said, I'm sorry, so,
Is this on?
I hope.
Yes.
Okay, Susan Maria, Day Planners. I just want to get up and remind everybody that on November 14th, we are having our cookie exchange for the troops. That will be in Clubhouse 1 from 1 to 3. You bring cookies in. If you want to bake an extra dozen so we can put them out and exchange cookies, fine. If not, just pack them up and bring them in. We will take donations. We will take, if you don't bake, I don't bake. You can buy them. You have to understand, are overseas, they cannot get an Oreo or a Chips Ahoy or anything like that. So they're greatly appreciative what we send them. There's a donation thing in the back to help shipping costs. Lloyd ships. I'm pretty sure everyone here knows who he is. We also have a list, if you want to put your name on it, to bake. And we hope to have a good turnout. Last year we did the cookie exchange at Carolyn's. We had a cookie drop-off. You drove your car up and you handed us the cookies. Year before we shipped over 100 containers of cookies. So, and we have a bunch of thank you letters, thank you notes from different platoons, whatever you want to call them, thanking us for making their holiday a little bit more homier. So don't forget, November 14th, I'll be there about 12:30. We'll have coffee. Hope to see you.
Thanks, Sue.
Thank you.
Bill Salt, would you come up too, please?
Who?
Bill Salt, he's the tax guy. He has an announcement to make.
Okay. Well,
Why don't you start?
Carol?
I just wanted to come up and have a seat.
My name's Carol Joyce, and I'm here representing the Melodiers, the Variety Club, and the Fishing Club. We're having a dinner dance December 7th at the Clarion. In the back, they're selling tickets. Anybody interested in going? We still have some seats left. The tickets are $35 a person. And at the Clarion, you know, you always get good food. You got a great DJ. I picked him out myself. You know, I love to dance. And so I'm in the back. If you're interested, December 7th is yes.
Melodiers Fishing Club and who else?
Sorry?
Who do you represent? Melodiers Fishing Club and who else?
A variety.
Thank you, Carol. I'd like to say good afternoon to the board. Good afternoon to the residents of Holiday City, Berkeley. My name is Harold Stewart, president of the Holiday City Berkeley Melodiers. Just want to remind you that, wow, things are getting close. Time flies when we're having fun. It's great to see everybody together again. Reminding you that if you haven't yet bought the concert tickets scheduled for Sunday, December 5th at 2 p.m. right here in this clubhouse, they're still on sale through the end of this month in Clubhouse 1. I got a couple of reps that are selling them from the group. They're $5 each. Those of you residents who have grandchildren, you want to bring them to the show, they're more than welcome to come in. If their age is 12 and under, they get in free. The tickets to all other adults and younger people over age 12 will be $5 a piece. That's it. We're doing a show entitled Merry Melodies to help bring in the spirit of the holiday season. Okay? Now, those that want to wait until the day of the performance, whatever the amount of unsold tickets remain, they will be sold right here at the door in the lobby, $5 a piece. We don't raise our ticket prices for those who are last-minute shoppers. Okay? That's it.
What date? I'm so sorry.
Sunday, December 5th. Showtime is at 2 p.m. right here on the stage at here in Clubhouse 2. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi. My name's Bill Salt. I'm a resident here. For the last 15 years, I've been volunteering doing AARP free income tax. And I'm sure you're all wondering what happened to AARP free income tax. COVID. We can't do any income taxes at sites unless it's appointment only, and we have enough volunteers. So what has happened last year and this coming year is there are no sites available. if we said appointment only and we have them here, that means somebody would have to man phones to take appointments and times and stuff, and that's just not feasible. There is only one site that is going to be open, which is down in Manahawkin at a church, which will be doing that. Now, once I get everything together, I'll put a notice in the paper, and it'll tell you where Manahawkin is and how to make an appointment and that. But all of the clubhouses around here where we did them, Crestwood 3, Crestwood 2, here, the South, they're all closed because of the restrictions that are put onto us because of the COVID. Any questions? I know a lot of you, I've been doing it for years, and I know you all, but I'm sorry, and I have no access to doing them myself with tax things. Okay, thanks.
Thank you, sir. All right. Larry, I don't know if you want to come all the way up regarding our dance. If you want to stay there, I can say it. Regarding Veterans and Friends, I guess most of you know, we're not going to have the dinner dance this year. Unfortunately, we're not going to. We had that breakout down in the pool room, and we have walked a breakout of COVID. One of the people did pass away. On that note, we made it definitive not to have an open seating kind of thing this year to our dismay. But we're looking to try to have this again during Memorial Day. That week, if possible, we'd like to try to have our Veterans Dance then, and then maybe we can continue what we're doing. We'll still have some money in the treasury, and we're able to help some groups. We have not been able to have our dance again because of COVID. We voted, Larry, I, and Mike, voted to be on the safe side and not have anybody possibly get ill or anything worse than that. So we're looking forward to, in May, having our Memorial Day in place of Veterans Day dance dinner. All right, thank you. That's it? Yes? Terry has something.
The woman working with Floyd, who collects the cell phones for soldiers. Well, she's back collecting cell phones again. So if anybody has an old cell phone, we don't need the wires or anything. We just need the cell phones. Each cell phone becomes a $10 phone card for a soldier to say, if they're overseas, they have to call home on their own dime. So these these phone cards go out. Lloyd sends them, as he does with cookies and all the other stuff that he sends overseas. He sends these phone cards. So if anybody has an old cell phone hanging around the house, please bring them in, bring them to the office. We'll send them with Lloyd, and Nancy will send them out, and she'll have them turned into phone cards. That's all. Thank you.
Lloyd's been doing that for years. That's another thing too, just so everybody knows, Lloyd pays for this postage. If he can't get any contribution, he pays for that out of his own pocket. So Veterans and Friends has been helping us since we started, and we're helping again this year. But if anybody would really like to help, aside from phones, if you'd like to donate anything to Lloyd through the DFW over here in Berkeley, it would help the postage to get this stuff out to all the service people. Okay, thank you again. I guess that's it for committee reports. Pat Priest, you have a committee report?
No, tell us where the DFW Berkeley.
If you go down Dover Road, make a left on Pine Wall, Keswick.
Okay.
Go past the City Hall, past the Parkway.
Oh, really?
You go down a few more blocks, and on the right side is the VFW. Okay? Thank you. All right? So if anybody knows or, you can do it, be much appreciated. All right, that's it for that. Shall we go to old business? Any old business? All right. Any new business? Here we go. Hi, Sharon.
23 Bosco Street. two things I want to go over. First of all, I don't know who is in charge of doing the labels.
Go ahead. No, it might be on, just lean to you this way, just here. Go ahead.
Okay, I don't know who is in charge of doing the labels for the voting ballots, but a woman on the corner of my block received 2, and so did a couple of other people. So I don't know who did it. It was not Mary Lou, it was not Harold.
When you say the labels, what are you talking about, the labels, the addresses going out?
And coming back. She got 2
So some
identical.
people got 2, they got 2 ballots in the mail.
Correct, exactly
All right.
the same.
And, can I ask you something? Do you know who stuffed that ballot? I mean, who put
We
that
all
in?
did it, there was
I
plenty of us.
understand, but the 2 in question, you don't know.
No, it's the labels that I'm talking about. There was 2 exact labels
That were printed.
to address to this
All right,
woman.
we sent it out, that's another thing, we sent that out, so, it's only gonna be counted once. You can't, once the count is done, you can't use that person's name twice.
That's what I'm
Now,
concerned about.
there's something else, are you sure that it's not 2 people who reside in the same home, and each one gets half a vote? I'm just asking. No, but they got the half a vote. No, I don't know what color we're talking about. The point being, I've got, I understand that, there's nothing that really we can do, the only thing is, on the again, the only one that you could really, I could point a finger at, would be the printing company. You know, they did a double. But again, that's gonna be superseded by when the vote comes. That vote, when that vote goes to that person's name, it's gonna be marked, and it won't be marked the second time. But good looking out, I
We
mean that.
weren't included with the instructions once the votes came back. Are we matching them to the names that went out?
Once they go in the box, nobody's like looking and saying, okay.
I didn't say that. I said when they're counted.
Yes.
Are we
When they're
matching
counted,
them to the labels that went out?
How are you gonna know there's a 2 in the board? Well, there were 32.
Once it's marked the first time, once it goes through, who's ever doing the count, you see that person's name is marked off.
That's what I'm asking.
Naturally, when you see that mark, you're not gonna give it a double mark.
Okay.
Okay, you know, it'll be up to you guys, basically.
Okay.
Because you're the ones doing it,
That was my
you know.
question.
And it's a good question, and again, the only thing I can say is, unfortunately, it happens with printing. You know, you might have to double, you know, anything can happen. You know,
Sharon?
the ran end,
Sorry,
excuse me,
John.
Barbara.
Go ahead.
The run ended, and then they started a new run,
Yes.
you know,
That
I'm familiar
happens,
with
yes.
it does. Good looking out, Sharon, thank you for that. So, you guys on the committee, please be aware of it. Thank you.
Is it
Hold on,
possible?
I think she had something else, Barbara.
Is it possible that that person owns 2 homes in the community? No, okay, that was just a thought.
Correct.
What else? You got something
Second
else?
one
Go ahead.
is regarding you, John.
What does that say?
It's a police report
Yes,
for the signs that were taken off people's property.
correct.
The woman did not want to press charges.
Right, I know that.
I took responsibility as campaign manager.
Okay,
I called the police.
I got it. I know, I saw the police 3 times.
Okay, they came to you. You
Yes.
admitted proof. You as
No,
a...
excuse me, just before we go any further.
Okay,
I was contacted by Michael Allegre
Okay.
by email.
okay.
And the email stated, how do we proceed, John? We noted that one of our signs has been taken. I immediately answered Michael within a couple hours. Michael got a complaint that it was on common ground. If you noticed where that sign was, 6 feet away was also the same sign. That sign was not touched. The area that was in question appeared to be an easement, and it could have been possible. I contacted Mr. Allegre, and I said, if it turns out that it is common ground, the sign will be replaced, or give it back to your campaign. If it's on private property, it will be replaced immediately. The sign was replaced, and there was a 2-foot difference between that and the easement swale. Fine. And it was replaced 2 days later. Then the police came. After the sign was replaced, that's when the police came.
Okay.
So, not to mention anything, but let's hope it wasn't an erroneous report. And not erroneous in the fact that it
Did you
didn't
not-
happen.
did you
I'm
not get a
saying
copy?
that- Excuse me?
Did you not get a copy of the police report?
No, I don't need it,
Okay.
because the police, I talked to them about it,
Okay.
and they understood the situation. As a matter of fact, the officer said, I can understand why you thought that might have been common ground. Again, Here was the sign, this is an easement. Here was another sign on someone's property. That sign was not touched. I believe you guys have signs all through the community. Is that the only one that I know of? I did it, I take responsibility, but it was following my duty to answer a complaint, just like I would answer yours or anyone else.
Oh, you answered a complaint, is that it?
I answered your complaint, yes.
No, I'm saying you answered a complaint to take the sign off of somebody's
It
property?
didn't say, it said common ground, because it appeared to be the easement, and partially is an easement. So you understand. But if there was any, as was insinuated, a theft, it wasn't a theft, it was explained, and it was returned.
Okay, but it was 5 days later.
No, it was not 5 days later. Saturday was the discussion, Saturday morning, I got the emails. Saturday morning was the email, I checked into it Monday, and Tuesday morning it was replaced.
But as a director, and
As a director.
especially
Yes, you're
the
right. You
president.
know what? I took it out, but I will tell you this. If you sent in a complaint, I would have to listen and follow through with it.
Okay.
And until the determination is made, who's right or wrong, that's, whatever the complaint would be, would have to be addressed. And it was. And it was corrected. And as a matter of fact, there was found to be no wrongdoing by Berkeley police.
Why
So there.
take it
Thank you.
But,
Why take it out?
Because there was a complaint, it was on common ground, it's not allowed to be.
Who gave the complaint?
You're not allowed to say that. All complaints are anonymous. We're not allowed to report that to you, ma'am. And no shouting out. If you want, get up to the mic. We're not gonna have an out-of-rule meeting here. Let's have some order. Go ahead, Pat.
Hi, John.
Ma'am, I'm gonna ask you one more time. Do not speak out.
John,
All right? You're disrespecting this lady. Go ahead, Pat.
I have two things, and this is, first one's to you, John. Just out of curiosity, because I don't know, does the rescue squad provide service for all of Berkeley Township communities?
They do, but they provide it free, as opposed to other ambulance companies. But
No,
ours
I
is
understand.
prevalent, HCB.
Here's maybe a suggestion kind of thing, being that we seem to be, gave away the property, whatever it's leased, however you want to say it. How about if the coalition set forth, maybe, equal, contributions, since they do it for free, why doesn't maybe South or?
I guess, I know you have you been here a little bit over a year, but what they've been doing for years to try to drum up money was have paper drives, things like that, and it's not enough for the upkeep.
No, I get what
They've
you're
always
saying.
been on
I'm
that
saying,
property.
being that they take care of all of us in the communities.
Right.
Shouldn't they feel any kind of responsibility to help with the contributions to the rescue squad?
What it is that it's on our property, it's surrounded by our
No,
property
but-
and in conjunction with our
I get what you're
property.
saying, but-
I understand, would you like me to contact the other communities?
No, I'm just asking.
I'd like to know what, well, no, they don't contribute.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
I just thought maybe the coalition could.
Yeah,
maybe get
well,
some-
would you like us to bring it up in the next coalition meeting?
Yes.
That's fine,
Why not?
I have no problem with that.
It
Good
helps
suggestion.
every-
We'll bring it up, if they
helps
can help us, help them.
Yeah, well, that's how I feel. I mean, if they're-
I'm not disagreeing with you, I'm agreeing.
No, I know, thank you. I
Okay.
appreciate that. And this is to, Mary, I'm gonna say in bad taste, you provided two directors to be able to write political, aimed articles about opposing candidates. How come you didn't allow Michael to, put his article?
As editor of the, I know. Okay? Yeah, that's fine. As editor of the newspaper, I reserve the right to read and discriminate. Can you hear? No. I did, it's on.
Get closer.
Okay?
Yes.
As editor, I reserve the right to read and discriminate all articles that come to me to be publicized in the newspaper. If I find that they're in any way distasteful, I don't put them in.
But you did put in two articles from directors that were not tasteful, and you printed them, and that's like using the bulletin as your forum.
I'm sorry we have different tastes in what is tasteful and what is not tasteful.
Well, then I
That's
guess
my
it's-
choice
it's-
because I'm editor. When you become
Right,
the
so then
editor.
I guess it's your opinion. Thank you.
May I ask you, are you referring to the article in which I corrected some misinformation from the previous meeting? Is that what you're referring to?
She said I am.
I am.
Okay. Well, the information was given out, excuse me, sir, I'm speaking. The information was given out at, this is November, so it was our October meeting, that, the loss of the boatyard, that's what I call it, the boatyard, but it's the parking lot in the back, cost all of us, include all of you and us, $25,000 a year. And I thought that was an odd figure, but when I researched it and went back to the office and asked the appropriate questions, I was told that in effect we lost $12,900 a year in income by not using the rentals in that lot. Now, $12,900 is a big difference from $25,000. I was not being political, I was not being malicious, I was correcting a statement that was made in error. I just think you folks, if you want information, you should have the right information, the correct information. That's all. It was not anything malicious.
Thank you.
There you go.
Joseph Malcolm, 24 St.
Right in, Joe.
Yeah.
Joe, sign in.
I did.
Okay, thank you. Joe DeFalco.
24 St. Croix Street. Barbara, get me back what you just said.
Speak, can't hear you.
Is it on?
Put your mouth right on it.
Joe, it's beyond.
Barbara,
Yeah.
Guys,
Barbara, getting back to what you just said. You're
please
saying
let the
that...
man.
Can't hear you.
Hey,
Joe,
hey,
Joe.
hey,
Don't bang
stop
the tape.
talking, I can't even.
Joe,
do this.
put your mouth right up close to it.
Respect
Okay.
to
There you
who's
go.
ever on the mic.
There you go.
Okay, Barbara, getting back to what you just said.
Yes.
There was 59 spots there.
No, sir, there are
Yes, there is.
36.
Yes, there is. And at $500 a spot, that
No,
would come
sir.
to, that would, can I finish talking? You said I interrupted you. I'm not, no, please don't interrupt me when I'm talking. Is that
Okay.
fair? Thank you. Now, Barbara, that would come to $29,000.
Excuse me, Joe, people, I'm gonna say this one time, please. Allow the man to speak and have some courtesy. Whatever it is, you would be allowed to have the same courtesy.
Can't hear him.
Let him speak.
It would be $29,500. That's my figures, and I think your figures are wrong. And to you, Mary, about being the editor, okay. We'll go back to September's paper that Barbara wrote, unfounded accusations. She basically said, the letter states in part that we knowingly violated the law by not holding a formal election at the end of 2020. We had 3 seats available, and the 3 board members submitted their resumes. There were not other appropriate resumes, but there were 2 between Laura and Mike. Because in the next article you wrote, what is the Rayburn Act, you admit you were wrong. Why did you write the first one if you admit you were wrong in the second one? Because they did have a right to run. And that was by the Rayburn Act, which the lawyers didn't tell you. And that's a fact.
I did not deny anyone from running.
Yes, you did.
Personally, I did not, sir.
No.
You're mistaken.
She didn't deny me, Joe.
The board did.
I will say this. I will tell you this, as far as Michael's, at that point, before using the Rayburn Act, I told Michael he had never made 5 meetings, which was a prerequisite here. That's why Mike was denied.
Yeah, and that was wrong.
Because of the Rayburn Act,
Right.
which also has overrode all our bylaws.
Yes, they
And
have.
it's kind of ironic to me that sometimes you guys spout the bylaws, but yet, when it came to the bylaws regarding Radburn overriding us, that seemed to be okay. And that's kind of fair both sides.
No, I'm just saying, the reason I'm bringing this up, she's writing Because Mary says she has the right as editor to put in whatever she wants. Fine. So that's what you just said, Mary. You just said that.
All right, guys, please, let's not get out of grade. If she said that, what did you say you had the right to edit?
May I say?
Edit is not
I'll
right.
let you finish, sir. I'll let you finish.
Go
You said
ahead.
whatever you thought was appropriate, you could put in. You didn't think it was appropriate, you didn't put it in, correct?
When I look at an article, I check to see if it is going to be disruptive or helpful. If it is in good taste, if it is written so that people can get a benefit from it, I will put it in. I do not write the articles.
Right.
Okay, so
I didn't say you did.
it's just the way in which they sound to me as editor. If they are disruptive, I will not put them in. If they cause people to have a bad attitude or it's distasteful, I will not put it in. That is my opinion as editor, and I have the right to do that.
I have one question then, to you, Mary. On the one in September, when Barbara wrote the 2 articles, and then said she was wrong in the second article, why did you write either one then?
She didn't know at the time when she...
No, wait a minute. She did, you got both articles in front of you. When you're gonna print the paper, you approved both of them, and you see one's contradicting the other one. She's admitting that she made a mistake. Why'd you write them?
She admitted the
Joe.
error.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
Joe, not for anything, I speak for myself, I make one or few mistakes.
Oh,
If you admit you make a mistake, that's step 1 towards correcting an issue.
But why did you
You're
put it
saying
in?
she made, well, if you don't know you're making the mistake at the time, that's why she put it in. When she realized it was a mistake, she admitted that it was a mistake.
Right.
But isn't that a good thing?
No, you don't get my point. My point is, she wrote the first one, and then the second one, right next to it, she made a mistake. Why even write the first one if it's a mistake? Why even put it, waste it in the paper?
It was in the same paper.
Right. That's what I'm saying, John. That's what I'm bringing up. Why waste the space? That's it.
Thank you, John.
All right. Yes, sir. Come on.
Oh, yeah, this is about this, grass cutting that we have going on.
Sir, please tell us.
My name is John Jay, okay, I live at 32 Falmouth Street.
Please sign in.
I signed in, yes I did.
Here?
I signed in over here.
No, here. So we know who's spoke.
Oh, okay, all right.
Joe, did you sign it? Joe?
Yes. Okay, all right, about this grass cutting that we're having.
Get on the mic.
Oh, okay, I'll tell you right now. Okay, this grass cutting. We just got this, in this November issue here, and it's saying that they owe us 3 more cuts. Well, on my paper, they owe us 6 more cuts. So how are they getting away with 3 cuts?
Have you ever, well, Mary was
You asking
I
me
got
that?
every mark here.
Are you asking me that question?
Yes, I am.
Okay, in the month of November, there's 3 more cuts to go. Actually, there's actually 2. The last one is the picking up all the leaves.
No, on my calendar here, it says they only cut 12 cuts.
What calendar is that?
That's the one I mark off when they cut my lawn. That's the calendar.
I don't go by that.
I go by what I mark on
I
my
go by what the
calendar.
contract gives me, and when it's a rainy day, he has to make adjustments.
Well, I don't care about a rainy day. I'm caring about them cutting my lawn. And I got every day that they cut my lawn, they cut 12 times.
Sir, let me tell you something.
Go ahead.
Nothing is perfect in life. I did the best thing I can do.
I'm not
Wait a minute, let me finish. Let me finish. I've been quiet long enough.
Mario, everyone.
Calm down.
You, sir, too.
I am.
Listen to me. Don't raise your
He's
voice to
hollering
me.
at me.
Listen to me. I'm asking, and I'm trying to calm it down, so do not raise your voice to me.
I'm not raising
Please.
my voice. I'm trying to tell you what's going on.
Sir, tone it down. We're all going to take it easy. Let's have a little respect for everybody. And it goes both ways. Both ways. Now, if you want to make a statement, you're saying that you have 6 cuts that are missing at your address. Was anybody else on your block or your area missing those 6 cuts?
Yes, the whole block, the
All right.
whole section is missing.
The whole section is
That's
missing?
correct.
All right, is there anyone here that's with you? Because I think it's
Yes, there is someone else with me.
that's also saying this.
Right, he lives across the street from me.
Okay, could he come up and please make that a fact? We will contact the grass company.
Right?
But to get emotional about it, and I'm not one to talk.
I'm not emotional.
I got
I'm just trying to tell you,
PTSD.
don't pay these guys these 3 extra cuts. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
We understand.
They
what
owe
you're
us
saying.
18 cuts.
We might be able to get them to owe us for the cuts that you missed, but not for the whole community.
Why not?
Because they didn't miss it. Right. Now all of a sudden, everybody's saying that it's 3 cuts. Please, come on, guys. You're saying, well, hold on, I'm just in conjunction with what you're saying. If that's the case, why have we not heard this?
I have put notices into Mario at least every 2 weeks, and I say 20.
Listen, people, you know, if anyone could lose their temper, it's me. I've got 70% PTSD, and I don't need it. Please, and I'm trying my best. So let's all try to have a little respect for the other person. I really have respect for everybody here. I do, truly. And I expect every board member to show the same respect as I expect every shareholder to do the same. Can we agree on that, please? Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right, if it's pertaining to this, go ahead, because I want to know why this was never brought up.
Go to the mic.
Come on up, Sharon. Look, this is helping you. All right.
At least every 3 weeks, I put a complaint into Mario stating when are they going to cut my grass. 3 weeks is a very long time.
All right. Now I understand, but you have contacted them. Okay, now we've got another. Now, sir, please just tell me the dates that you're missing. And I'm going to tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to write them down. We're going to contact and we'll do what we can.
I'll give you a copy of this.
Can we have it?
Yeah.
Thank you. What's your name again? John. John, I'm John also, but thank you, John. How are I got you, but don't say 6 months straight. I understand. Don't say 6 months All right. Come on, we're trying to get this worked out, people. I don't know how well, but we'll get it. You're waiting to say something more? You're with it. Okay. All right, now that we see that there is such a group of people that have had issues, it gives us reason, a good reason, and gives us some kind of evidence that we will present to the grass cutters. Now, understand this, they got a contract, and we gave them that contract for $100,000 less than what the other guys were charging. All right? Understanding that people were unhappy with this, or unhappy with that. Nobody's going to be always thrilled when whatever work is done, especially not with grass. That's totally understood. A good portion of the community gets most of it done. But for those that have missed out and gotten it, that's what we're here for. Let us know. I promise you that we're going to contact them, and I will get some sort of answer and something done to rectify that situation. And if not, we'll cancel and get another grass cutter. Or add another grass company. This is something else that we have considered. If it's too much for one grass cutter company to do everyone, we might get a second one in. Let's hope if there's a new board, an old board, a mixed board, whatever board, that the board considers that. Maybe getting a second grass cutter. And that might help alleviate any problems. Understand anger, we understand that everybody's got a complaint. But the only way to address it is civil. Tell us what it is. I'm the president, I'm going to take the hit. If we don't get it done, I'll leave and I'll never come back as a president. But I will try to do that. All right?
I don't know, but it seems good to me. I'm leaving, that's all I heard.
Are you on a 27 Summit also? Okay.
I'm just here to concur what he said about the amounts of grass cuttings we
Got
have.
it.
Our purpose when we talked about this was not to get extra grass cuttings. Our purpose was to make the board aware that they shouldn't be paying for more cuts than they actually did.
You're absolutely right, and again, we don't know things. I mean, you know what? I have a few neighbors. I haven't gotten complaints. I saw my lawn was pretty good. Unfortunately, I'm not in a position to take care of my lawn any longer like I used to. But, you know, I really had no complaints, but that doesn't mean somebody else doesn't. And the only way we're gonna know is you by bringing it to us. If we don't solve it or give you a reasonable explanation after, we don't deserve to be here.
Well, I can see where they missed cuts because in June, we had so much rain that I think we only had our grass.
That happens with every grass cutter, that's correct.
So you can't make up that time, so you can't pay them for things
That,
that.
you're absolutely right, and I'm sure we'll get to them and get some sort of compensation one way or another. Good. If I can't do it, then we're not doing our job. Sally, come on.
Just ask everybody, who has kind of the same complaint? Because
I just did, and I
same
got quite
thing.
a response, but listen, I don't care.
Me the same
I don't
thing.
care if it's 5 people or 50, it's gotta be addressed.
Well, I think you should know, like, the majority. I kept track, and I know I wasn't getting at it, I said, oh, I'm not gonna worry
All right,
about it.
all right,
Shame
just
on
for the
you.
heck of it, and let's try to keep it calm. Show of hands, everybody that's dissatisfied with the lawn service.
They can get the cut. Dissatisfied.
Anybody satisfied with the lawn service?
No.
Now, wait a minute, there's 3 hands here. Okay, again, your point taken.
Mine was not enough grass cut.
Sally, you got the point. I asked the people that are here are not satisfied. Again, gonna bring it back to these people. Either they're gonna step up to the plate or they can strike out a meeting.
I should just say that I also.
The best you can. Okay.
I also keep track of.
Good job, Sarah. Congrats. Good job.
I'm sorry, Pat.
Good job.
I'm sorry, John. I also keep track of how when my grandchild.
Guys, I understand you have to on button, but Pat's trying to speak, please.
I'm saying I have my.
Guys, right, the woman's trying to speak, please.
I have my calendar also, if you like it, of when my grass got cut,
Okay.
days, and I highlighted it. If you need that as proof, I have that as well.
All right, listen, here's what we're gonna do. Anybody that's really dissatisfied, just not to show hands, and I really don't wanna cause a lot of paperwork. If you guys just call in, I'm gonna have a paper set up with signatures, similar to a petition. If you have an issue with the grass cutting as it's been done, and please don't blame Mario. This is something that the man has some.
Yes. I gotta open my big mouth. I can't control myself.
That being said, that being said,
I think you should put, I'm not unhappy with the way they cut the grass. They didn't do all the cuttings they were supposed to get. It's 2 columns.
and it's, right, okay, so here's the deal. When there is heavy rain, they do have days to make up. If they can't make them up, we have to find some way. And again, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ask, don't rush please after the meeting, because you have to give Julie some time. But I'm gonna ask you, our office manager, to put up something to the effect of address it to high tech and people that are dissatisfied with whatever it is in their cutting of the grass, and that will be there for your signatures. Once we get a group of signatures, I will approach them myself and tell them if they don't either give us credit or step up next year, we're gonna consider they're violating the contract, and we'll do something about it. Or we'll get a second guy in to assist one way or the other. But I'm gonna ask you today, print something up to that effect, and over the next few days or weeks, if you people would like to step in, sign it with this consent. Anything else, I don't know what we can do. We try and, address whatever it is. So, hi, I'm sorry.
Hi. Patricia Quinn, Harrington Drive North.
Okay, hi.
I want to know now that we're on the...
Again, people, excuse me, me. Someone is speaking at the mic, please, let's not have that undercurrent. Thank you.
I want to know now that we're on the fourth chairperson of the election committee, is the fourth person going to abide by the state rules, or, as Judy puts it, the lawyer rules? Because the clubhouse is not doing what's supposed to be done according to the state laws, and I think...
State laws, you're talking about a government election.
No, we're talking about community elections.
Okay.
Within...
And where is it incorrect?
Well, to start with...
Please.
They're being stored in the office. They're first being handled by the receptionist, and then they're going to Judy, and then they're being stored in stapled boxes with a hole in the top, when they're not supposed to be handled by any current board directors or employees.
No board director does touch it.
Or employees, or paid employees.
Let me ask you, who would get the envelope? When it's mailed in, who do you expect would handle that mail?
The election committee.
No, ma'am. The mail comes to the office.
No. Yes, the mail goes to the receptionist.
Yes.
The receptionist separates the mail.
Correct.
She can hand the mail
Judy
to
puts them in
the
the box.
election chairperson,
And then-
which it's supposed to be, and then the election chairperson is responsible for taking all of the ballots off of the property. They're not even supposed to be on the property, off of the property until election day, when they bring them back as the boxes get full.
And where do the boxes get stored?
With the election chairperson. And that, it says it all right here in black and white. And if the new election chairperson would like a copy of this,
May I see the paper, please?
Sure. I tried to tell Judy that she wouldn't touch it, so she said it was the lawyer.
She's been doing elections her whole life. She knows she's
Do you mind if I
If
take
you,
it?
yeah.
I emailed that to them in September. They ignored it. The lawyer's not allowed to be involved.
So what you're underlining, I'm going to read it out, but I want everybody to hear what you're saying. Okay. What's underlined, ma'am, what was your first name, ma'am?
Patricia.
Hi, Patricia. All right, this is Patricia. You submitted it, and I'm going to...
Now, I also submitted early on, when the first chairperson quit after a couple of days, I sent an email saying, I have tons of experience, I've been doing this for years, and I asked to be considered for chairperson of the election committee. And so that was the first person, and then there was another, and then there was the co-chairs.
They were never
and now
actually,
we have a new.
ma'am, just so I want to clarify that, they never agreed to co-chair.
Well, you better ask Judy, because was telling everybody that they're the new, first they were temporary, and then they were the new
You're absolutely right, and
chairs.
I'm going to say this, and in defense of Judy, Judy's been swamped with everything, and she understood.
That's not our
I
problem.
don't say it's your problem.
Okay,
I
it's
said,
not our
in
problem.
her defense, man, she does have to handle that almost basically on her own.
But that's why
Hold on.
she shouldn't be handling any of this
All right,
election
well,
stuff.
first I'm gonna read
It's not her responsibility, and she's not supposed to touch it. And it's being stored in her office. This is not the way
I'm going to
you're
read
supposed
this
to
and
run
we'll
an
see
election.
what you're saying. Right, that's all.
First we had one.
Hi, Speaker.
I'm sorry. We had an original person who was going to be the chairperson. He was overwhelmed and decided that he wasn't going to do it. Then we had a second person who said they would be a chairperson. Then he became overwhelmed, so he stepped out. Then we had a couple of other people who thought, well, they thought that they would do this.
I have to, Terry, I have to interrupt you. Did you read the first paragraph of this paper? Did you read the first paragraph? You remember what it says? These guidelines are intended for use in the drafting or amendment of common interest community bylaws. They may be adopted in full or otherwise modified to best serve the interest of the particular community. This is not in stone. It's telling, ma'am, I can speak a little bit and explain. According to what we were told, and our attorney who was in contact with Radburn, those people gave him the guidelines, what are totally acceptable. This, what you just showed me, is something that can optionally be adopted by any community. It's not mandated. That's that. If it was mandated, it's a different story. That's not. It's saying, and again, do you want me to?
The ballots should not be put in your hands.
I don't touch them,
in this
ma'am.
building.
I don't go near them.
I'm not saying you, I'm saying.
We don't.
You are
We don't.
the board, you are that office over there.
But we don't touch anything. We don't touch these envelopes.
But they're not supposed to be stored there.
It does not say that. It says may be adopted by each community. And that means we, at that point, our attorney contacted the DCA, and they gave us guidelines that were acceptable. Those are the guidelines I read out 2 meetings ago, and no
I'd
one
like
made
to
a
see a
mistake.
copy of those guidelines.
You really do?
Yeah.
I'm going to give it to you right now.
Good.
Ma'am, what is your last name?
When?
Did you write your name?
I did.
Oh, okay, fine. We're just trying to get it so that we have it correctly, that's all.
This whole election's been a sham with the way it's been handled. The whole thing.
Man, I'm not going to accept that.
It hasn't been handled properly, and it's not fair to the shareholders.
Can I ask, who sent out the ballots? Who filled it, who worked on the ballots?
Speaker.
Yes, there was a pre-election approximately 20 of us. Stuffing, doing the envelope, folding, whatever. Correct.
You can't hear anything anybody says.
Judy kept coming into the room as the guide person. She was told what to do. I went into the office several times. I take pictures of those boxes. Once a week, I'm asked to see those boxes. I don't trust the boxes. I'm not going to say I don't trust the board right now, but they do not belong in Judy's office, being handled by her daily without our knowledge.
Well, I believe the
she's
boxes...
an employee, she's a paid employee.
Right, she doesn't have an interest in one way or the other. She does not have a stake. You know, laughing boy. She does not have a stake. She worked here more than half of you lived here. She's worked for this community way before we got here. Before any board, she had never had a question by anybody running since day one that anything underhanded, or if that's what you're saying, well, then you have to be sticking. So you say, well, I know it's not the boxes, but we're not saying you. So do you think it's the boxes themselves that are doing it? Oh, the boxes themselves are doing this. You don't trust the boxes. Should we swear them in?
Are they taped and signed?
Two meetings ago, there was a whole big thing about how privately they were going.
And I read to you what was instructed by DCA that all, and I read that out. You want a copy, man? I don't have it with me, but you give me your address, you'll have a copy sent. And it certainly will. I read every paragraph.
Can I ask?
3 meetings ago. Every paragraph.
Are the boxes taped?
Yeah.
Did somebody sign across the tape?
Yeah.
Who signed across the tape?
Mary Lou and Harold.
Okay, so they signed across the tape. So have that been broken? You take pictures, you come in 3 times a week.
Right, so what is the issue?
So
it's just trying to plant the seed that there's something wrong going on. And that's basically what it is.
John,
I'm sorry, that's not factual.
Like the idea of the boxes.
I know you don't like the idea, but the DCA gave those lists that I read out, every paragraph, to Paul, our attorney, as what was accepted. And that's what we follow.
But they have been modified since.
No, by whom? Who modified it?
Okay, we have a different rule with the box and everything.
Then who modified what?
The office did by saying.
No, we didn't. We followed exactly the way Paul and I read the instructions to be paid and held. That's the way it was. And I'm going to tell you what, now we're going to get the copy. And we're going to print it, and it's going to be put in the office. And I read those words, paragraph by paragraph, a few meetings ago to everyone. I said, it's going to be a long list. No one complained
offered
and
my
we followed
services
every
to
aspect of what was instructed. Now, if you want to complain after the fact, that's another story. But we're gonna get you showing it, and we're gonna show that we followed everything acceptable. And again, when you bring this in, I understand, but don't just separate what you want to. This first paragraph says everything, that it may be adopted. It is not instructive. So we follow DCA rules for this election.
Go for it.
So in other words,
If there
things
continues to be an outburst, we might as well just end the meeting. You guys want that? Then just try to respect what's going on. She's one of the people with you and you're talking over. Go ahead, Sharon.
Only because 2 meetings ago it was all settled. Then we went into the meeting with Judy, who said, I'm only doing as I'm told. And we said, by who? She wouldn't answer us.
Well, I'm telling you, she following the attorney gave the instructions as per the DCA, and Judy followed those instructions.
Okay, but Judy didn't tell us.
She does not have a horse in the race. She's been here with every point since day one. No one's ever accused. I mean, I think in essence you're accusing or intimating that Judy did something wrong.
No, I'm not.
Well, then what are you saying?
Like we said at 2 meetings ago, there was supposed to be different guidelines
No, they
for
weren't.
the box.
Sharon, every guideline that the DCA sent down has been adhered to. Everything.
Cardboard boxes?
I read that out to you. You want to see the paragraph?
I asked Judy for the lawyer's number, so I did talk to the lawyer and ask what the.
Do you realize if you do call, it's going to be your, you can call it.
I asked Judy for the lawyer's number so that maybe he could explain how it's supposed to be because.
You want the lawyer's number?
Well, she
I
said
can see
she
right now.
couldn't give me the number.
No, well, I can give you.
I have the number.
Oh, well, then did you call?
No, why should I call?
Because you wanted the number. You're not making
Because
sense,
I already
ma'am.
knew the answer.
You wanted his number, ma'am. You wanted the lawyer's telephone number for what he, to ask him? So now you have the number, but you're not gonna ask him. Even though you have questions. You have his number, but you're not gonna ask him. You're wasting your time, ma'am. Yes, you are. You're wasting our time if you're not gonna do what you, it makes sense in what you're saying. If you had, let me finish. If you have a question for the attorney, and you have his number, which you sought out to ask him, now that you have the number, you don't want to ask? What? That makes no sense. Oh, because. Next. Please, now, for what? Come on, you just want to complain.
Terry has something to say.
Right now, no. Please, I'm from Diane.
Terry talk.
Terry wants to talk and tell you what I just said, go ahead.
No, I don't.
What?
What I was gonna say is, what were you intending to do? Were you intending to take the box, you were gonna bring it home, then you're gonna bring it back every day when the mailman comes?
No. As the boxes are full, the election chairperson is responsible for keeping the boxes off of the premises, which is what the state law says, and then the boxes come back on election day when they're gonna be ready to be opened.
If the boxes are sealed, this is my question. If the boxes are sealed, they've got tape around those boxes.
Right.
Anybody, I don't care if it's Michael or Sharon or anybody over there would come in and sign their name across those tapes.
Right.
That's a security measure.
Because the state law says an employee or the current board are not supposed to handle the ballots. And they're not supposed to be stored on the premises.
Can I ask you, they're gonna come into the office every day. The mail comes into the office every day.
That's what the election committee does.
Okay, so you're gonna be there every
You
single
want to go in?
day.
We'll get your chair. You handle it every day, 8 hours. You want to do it? Are you volunteering?
Once a day.
Are you volunteering?
Yes.
I volunteered to
Are
be
you
the
going to
election
do that now? Would you
chairperson.
like to volunteer and come in and do it?
No, that's the responsibility of the election chairperson.
Ma'am, I don't know what your complaint is, but when I asked you if you want our attorney's number because you wanted to ask him, now you don't. Which tells me you don't
Because
really
I
know what
already
you're asking.
know.
Now, ma'am.
gonna get an answer.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get an answer.
All right, please sit down.
He got 30 emails. He knows what you're talking about.
All right. Unfortunately, there's been.
Please state your name for.
My name is Mary Ann Jacobs, and I'm quite sure I'm quite well known around this area right now, due to the fact that a lot of misinformation was put on Facebook about me and my intentions. I wrote a letter to John. He received it. He called me yesterday. He agreed with me that I was not ever a chairman of the election. It might have seemed that way to some people, but I was never told I was, and I never agreed to it. And I'm asking today, John, please take my signature and Harold's signature off those boxes. I will not be doing any balloting. I will not be there to verify those signatures. The chairman here may put her own signature on.
I'll do it.
And I would like mine erased.
Sure, I'll do it.
Okay, please? And I think that should end the discussion of whether I'm the chairperson or not.
For this whole issue to have caused some people who had the right intentions to be upset, I don't think that was good by anyone.
And believe me,
By anyone.
I
That
will
was very
never
good.
ever volunteer again.
I don't get what you're saying.
They were kind of insulted and accused of something. And
I
that's
did
not
not.
right.
I worked with Mary
On
Ann
Facebook,
There are
that
many
day.
other people in this room that did.
Yeah.
2 days I worked with you.
Sharon,
and
you're
she
right, all right,
was
Sharon, not you, but my statement
Sharon,
was
I'm
because
not,
of
I'm
somebody
not
got upset.
picking on you, I'm saying
You shouldn't
many
do that to
people
someone
in the room.
else, trying to help the place.
And I'm just gonna let you know that because of this, don't ever ask me to volunteer for anything again, because it wasn't worth it. Thank you.
Can I ask you one thing?
Yes, John.
Was it because you didn't want to do it because of the somewhat of harassment?
It was harassment,
Thank you,
absolutely.
thank you, and that's not right on the part of any other shareholder to do that to some of the volunteers. Shame on you, shame on you.
Where's harassment? Judy, it was Judy who said that.
Judy's the one that said she's.
I know. How are you, Marguerite?
I'm a little nervous. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Marguerite Penn. Some people say Marge Penn, 9 Barbados Drive South. I had a question about the security of the ballot box.
Okay.
And that's one reason why I'm here.
What's the question?
Well, what is it made of? I have seen other ballot boxes that were padlocked and were made of wood. So I was wondering what type of box we have.
They're cardboard, as was mentioned before, but I will tell you this.
Yes.
If this seems to be an issue, it might be a little late to go get a lock box at this point in time.
Yes.
Because we'd have to be taking the votes out of a secure thing, and that would not be acceptable anywhere. But I will tell you this, I don't think anybody here is adverse to, from the next, beginning before the next election, that we secure some sort of gigantic box that's locked, and all ballots eventually be put in there. Let's hope maybe that one day this COVID stuff won't be prohibiting us and it has to go through the mail. Maybe we'll all be able to vote in person again. But until that time, it's another thing that I think the board should definitely consider, and that is for next time, next year hopefully, if we don't get to vote in person, or if it's a mail ballot, I'm going to say this, I hope I'm speaking for everyone, because it does make sense. We should try to get a much securer box to make everyone happy. There are a lot of people that are satisfied with it, but those who are not, let's try to accommodate.
Thank you. John and the board, excuse me. I am a little nervous because of, well, everybody is upset, and I'm upset.
And don't get upset. You know what? And don't take it, nobody here's taking it personal. It's just life.
Yes, it is. Thank you. Referring to the business of the paper you read, that was concerning the first paragraph, which included may be followed. Now, I do know there's a difference between maybe and shall.
Absolutely.
And the maybe part is good because it gives people a chance to wait things out. But we may be in the period right now where we should maybe include everyone in the process.
Of what, counting?
Of the maybe. Following what we were talking about, was that the bylaws that were referred to, the Radcliffe Act?
Radburn.
Radburn Act. So I would strongly suggest that we include everyone rather than leaving it up to the board with the maybe.
Marguerite, not to interrupt, but they specifically, when you say get everyone, you're talking about mailing out the ballots, counting the ballots?
Well, the community.
What specific?
The community, meaning trying to adjust the maybe to include us.
All right, well,
only the board.
All right.
Which would be a little bit more involvement with the
All
community.
right, well, you know what, anybody who wants to be involved is open arms.
Yes, and that would bring me to the next thing. That would be, I would make the suggestion after the trustees are elected, that we have a bulletin board of sign-ups for volunteers.
Great idea.
Everyone could see the volunteers that had signed up, and then maybe they would check their name off, but at least we have the sign-up sheet and have a full committee available, especially standing committees, finance, budget.
We've had those committees in the past, and you know, as people pass away, other people come in, not everybody is rushing to volunteer for everything.
Sign up be available for anyone that is interested in being on a committee, especially standing committees.
Very good.
And that would eliminate a lot of chaos that we have.
Thank you, Margie. And you didn't have to be nervous.
One other thing is also your regular committees, such as social or anything else. Also, I would like to suggest that we have committees formed about buildings. Some communities call it architectural committees, but I think it has to do with improvement or repairs of buildings, construction, etc.
It's all something that definitely should be discussed with a new board, you know, when the time comes. I mean, whatever suggestions, make them, and that's a good one. Thank you, Marguerite.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, everybody else. Let me come up. Someone's coming, I think. Sue.
I don't know if I have to introduce myself again. I just want to say something. Listening to you people talk about Judy. I've been here 13 years. Judy has been in that office through more than one board. She is not an employee of the board. She is an employee of Holiday City, Berkeley homeowners. We employ her, not the board.
We know that.
And I dealt with Judy for the last 5 years with the day planners. She is very honest. I have never had a problem with her. I have given her money. I have forgotten to take a receipt. Sorry. And she's called me up and said, "You forgot your receipt." Judy might seem as if she's leaning to the board, but she is not. I've seen her over the years. I've seen her with the different boards. Judy works for us. I hope everybody please remember that. She works for us, not them. And I will defend her because I think she's a very honest, open person.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sue.
I think this whole thing with these things could have been solved from the beginning when they were talking about putting them in a box, put locks around them, that's it now. So whatever happens, happens now.
Okay, Judy, before, I read everything out, no one suggested the lockbox at that time. So we just went with it. Again, I don't know what more earnestness we could say except that we're gonna move forward and go for a lockbox on the next election. That's all I could say. I mean, I don't know what you want.
No, I just don't want you to make excuses for the small thing you made.
You know I call you back, Judy. When you ask something, I do call you back, and I keep you updated. And I told you this morning why you haven't gotten an answer as we have. And you know I get back to you.
You also put a thing in the paper too saying about me saying what we're gonna do at the end.
We're not allowed to.
I didn't ask you to do it then. I expected you to do that before you leave.
You can't. To help
Before
them.
you leave, I expect you to say, come on, you candidates, come on into the
Can't
show
do
you
it.
what goes here, what goes here, what happens.
They can come to a meeting, but they're not allowed to participate.
Yes,
But one
can.
meeting, but Judy, one meeting is not gonna tell everybody everything there is. Do you know how long it takes? It takes 2 or 3 years on the board to learn every aspect of what it is. Not only that, just so you understand, we're mandated, if you run for the board and you are elected to the board, you have to attend classes on how to be a director. That's ordered by the judge. So if you ask, what I was trying to get across that time was if you had 6 brand new people coming in, it might be difficult for them because we're not allowed to participate in anything once they take office. Yes, there are certain questions you can ask.
Okay, let's end it there, because I'm not asking
You're
you
never
about
gonna know
participating.
everything until you put the
No,
time
I
in.
didn't want to know none of that.
What
I
do you
just
want?
wanted to know what this file happened, I don't want to go walking there and say, gee, I wonder where they put this file with it.
This is so much more than knowing about a file cabinet, not all.
Our candidates, our directors have familiarized themselves with the bylaws, so we're not asking you.
I'm not talking about bylaws. Did you see what the bottom thing said on my message? Common sense should prevail also. And common sense is sometimes
And I
lacking.
think common sense is better than anything.
Well, I understand that, and I'm trying to explain to you, common sense, if we're dictated that we cannot take part. Because actually your statement was, so after we're in, you're not gonna help us. I can read it back to you.
I'll tell you what my statement
It's
is.
on
I said,
record.
so what's gonna happen? We're gonna all walk in here with our hands on our ass, not knowing what that was doing.
Basically, that's what will happen. That's what's gonna happen.
And I also wanted to say that I had a call from Comcast saying something about your computer's gonna be blinking and that they could cut me, sit in front of the computer, they could help me get it cleared out. So I think it's a scam because I called Comcast, they didn't know nothing about it. So I just wanted to let you know if you get a call from Comcast and they tell you that your computer's gonna start blinking and that you should sit in front of it, don't do it because it is a scam and it's the way they get into your system.
While you're on the scam thing, just one other thing, there's something else going on, Judy, that I want to mention. If you're having emails, you can receive emails now, and legitimately, it'll come from the company that you might be dealing with. For example, I have Discover card. I got an email from Discover. They knew my last 4 numbers. They knew my last 4 numbers, whoever was doing the scam. And what they wanted was my birth date. They said, we're trying to adjust the student loan that you signed for your granddaughter. And I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute. So immediately I hung up. And I'm talking about their logo to a T. A telephone number, 800. And when you call, I called, right away. I wanted to know what I was dealing with. And as soon as I called, and you could see, and this person wasn't talking with an Indian, and I shouldn't say Indian, but foreign accent. They were speaking fairly good English. But then I asked them that one question. I said, what do you need to know? My birthday? I said, and you don't know it? No, we're just trying to verify. So I gave them a phony birthday. Boom, they clicked on it. It's not just Comcast. Trust me, there are so many
I spoke to the police department and they told me that they can get right in, they use your phone number
to go back.
to go to somebody.
But yes, you
So
can.
when they told me that, I called the number that was on my caller
Right,
ID,
and you can't get
and
through.
it was an Indian woman
That's
that
right.
answered the phone. And I thought I should have said that, you call people, tell them, I should have told that person that, and maybe somebody was using that.
After the phone calls that you get on your phone, if you try to call it back, you cannot contact them because they're generated by computer. A month and a half ago, I got a phone call from myself. Literally, my number came up that was calling me. It's computer generated.
That's
And
what
it's
they
a
said.
robot. It's like, oh,
They're the
right.
ones that told me that I should
I think
notify my association so they can notify the members.
All right, thanks,
Judy,
Thank you, Judy.
I have one answer for you. If you are elected
and you can ask questions. That's all I wanted to know, and one of that bulletins, Mike, or somebody did tell me that we do have the right as to elect to come in.
If you're elected, you're
And that's what I was wondering.
If you and 4 other people are elected, you can come into the office any day during office hours, and you can sit there and you can answer phones and answer complaints and whatever's going on, you can watch that.
They can't be part of it. And
You
decision
can't be
making.
a part of it, but you can watch it and see what's going on, and you can ask
That's
questions.
all I wanted to know.
Thanks, Steve. Yes, sir. Please state your name, son. Thanks, Steve. You'll say it. Please announce yourself, sir.
My name is Joe Speciale. I'm on St. Croix Street.
Joe Speciale, St.
Yeah,
Croix.
St. Croix Street. I wanted to make some comments about the election. I'm on the election committee. I don't see any point in it now because according to what I understand, what you're saying is the state regular guidelines that I have are no good because you can amend them to whatever you want to suit your needs, is what I understand.
What guideline?
I have state guidelines on how to run a paper ballot election. I believe the same thing that someone handed up there.
Right, and if you're
Before,
looking
you're
for
saying these are only general guidelines, and you can amend them to whatever.
What it says is that if you read the first opening paragraph, I'll say it again, guidelines are intended for use in drafting or an amendment of a common interest community bylaws. They may be adopted in full or otherwise modified. It doesn't say they must be or shall be. It says may be adopted in full or otherwise.
Okay.
And we got DCA to advise our attorney, who advised us, and that day I read 2 full pages, every paragraph that was detailed for us to do, and there was not one hand raised in contention of it. And now, after the fact, that's when the contention is going.
Okay. Here's what I want to know. First of all, why was it changed last minute that we could do a mail-in ballot and a drop-off ballot?
We were not allowed to use the voting machines by the Ocean County Board of Elections. Were you here at that meeting?
Right.
Announced it. That's why. And we couldn't do a voting. We had to do mail. That was mandated. We weren't allowed to use the machines.
So a shareholder can't come in with a white plain envelope and drop it in the box.
No, because anybody can do that. You come in and say,
Because according to your guidelines, said you could do mail-in or drop-off.
right. You could drop, it said you could drop off. We decided it was better to mail. Because everything that's mailed has to come back from the person it was mailed to.
Didn't he say he has no jurisdiction?
That's why, and it's not mailed by that person. And I'm not saying, just like anybody's worried about the boxes that they could be tampered with, that could be tampered with. I mean, you know, if you think about it.
Well, according to this,
I'm hearing, and sir, I don't mean to interrupt, I'm getting a lot of after effect stuff regarding these boxes and how. And I understand, I read everything out, again, that was instructed by the DCA that was acceptable. In turn, given to our attorney, to which I read the whole thing out, and I told everybody, be prepared for a lot of stuff here, legalese. There was not one hand raised in contention. But now that there is a contention, I just made a statement, and I don't know what better statement could be made if there is that much of an issue and mistrust. From day going forward, we are going to try to procure some sort of large box that can be locked. Other than that, I don't know what everybody expects at this point. I really don't. I understand you're up here, but it's pretty much repeating what someone else is saying. And I've already given the ask and answer.
okay, I have this statement here. Completed ballots received by the association shall be immediately placed in the control of the election supervisor.
Right.
Who shall retain and collect all ballots. Shall not open them except in the manner set forth.
That's correct.
We weren't given I'm on the committee, I wasn't given the ballot.
What? You didn't get
It
ballot in the
says
mail?
completed ballots received by the association. In other words, when you get the mail,
Yeah.
shall be immediately placed in the control of the election supervisors, which is the election committee. It is me.
No.
Where are they?
They're off the committee.
I don't have control of them.
Can I ask, one of you want to take the boxes home?
That's what it says.
That's not gonna happen.
That's they should,
oh my.
Wait a minute, excuse me. It says it right in here in the guidelines. They're supposed to be removed
I'm just gonna stand by the
from the election site.
It is, that's not the election site. You look, our election site is Clubhouse 1. That's our election site, Clubhouse 1. Come on, you get that. You get that.
Job.
With the people. Well, yeah, with people.
I have another question. Why was the election day set for the day before Thanksgiving?
Lawyer's instructions are, because I can't now.
What if first of all, who's gonna open the ballot? Is the election committee gonna open the ballot? Okay. What if we don't get it all done on the day before Thanksgiving? That means we're gonna be floating around somewhere for 4 days? I don't know why everybody's looking at me like that. It's a holiday. Like, why did it have to be that day? Why couldn't
Is there anybody else? Please, you've gone over this the last time. What's the question? Please make it reasonable. Reasonable.
The nomination deadline to submit a resume was September 1st. In the bylaws, each nominee must give
The bylaws have been overridden, sir, by Radburn.
You didn't have any, that's not my question.
Well, then what are you talking about?
You amended that.
We amended, we did not amend it, it was amended by the Radburn committee and the DCA. No one's talking about anything.
To October 10th.
Anything. It was amended by the DCA.
To October 10th.
Overruling all of our bylaws, by the way. Just so you understand, tomorrow, somebody will be here, just got out of jail for murder, not making something up the board, because of Radburn. That's why I thought it was important.
Somebody's phone is there, I don't know.
That wouldn't hurt. Is there anything else, sir? All right, good, thank you. Because when you ask me, you ask, I answer you, please, Judy, one more time. I'm allowed one or twice, you know, I wanna have to give you a cot.
No, stop saying that, because this is not my second time up here. Let everybody go ahead.
Come on, Judy.
Listen, I want to tell you that I don't think it was nice that Mario left here. It was really complaining,
I don't
but
think
at the
it was
same time, I do want you to know that as far as the things go, as far as paying the job, they should get paid for doing a sufficient job. Okay, listen now, you can't interrupt me because then I'll just keep talking.
You know what? And right they can, because you've been up and you exceeded 5 minutes.
Okay, listen, I just want you to know that I had a complaint with them, and Mario did tell them, they did come out and spoke to me, and I spoke to the guy, and I told him how unhappy people have been with their service, and they said that they were gonna do better next year, and that they had started out only working 4 days a week, and they went to 60. But I didn't yet got my one cut more than 18 days.
Thank you. I'm gonna adjourn the meeting, but, Patricia, you got your phone number here? Thank you. We'll give you a call. Well, and I want to motion to adjourn, please. Thank you. What's the second one?
Picking on you. What's the matter with you? Okay.
I got plenty of hooks in that garage. How you doing, Charlie?